I was unloading groceries when Tyler appeared in my driveway. My brother's 23-year-old son had that sheepish look he always wore when he needed something. "Hey, Aunt Maria, quick favor?" He leaned against my car door. "Can I borrow your credit card? Just need $20 for gas." My car got locked because of some fraud alert thing. I hesitated. Tyler had a history of small requests that somehow expanded, but he was family and it was just gas money. "Fine, it's in my wallet on the kitchen counter. Just the gas station, Tyler. I'm tracking everything." "Obviously. Thanks, Aunt Maria. You're the best." He jogged inside. I continued unpacking. 10 minutes later, Tyler returned, handed me the card, and drove off. I thought nothing of it until that evening. My phone buzzed with a purchase alert, then another, and another. I opened my banking app, and my stomach dropped. The transaction scrolled endlessly. Electronics store, $2,100. Clothing boutique, $1,800. Jewelry store, $3,200. Sports equipment, $1,400. The total climbed to $8,500. I called Tyler immediately. No answer. I tried 3 more times. Nothing. I drove to my brother David's house, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. The entire family was there for dinner. Through the window, I could see them laughing around the table. Tyler sat at the head, showing off a new watch that caught the light every time he moved his wrist. I didn't knock. I walked straight in. "Maria." Dad stood up, surprised. His fork clattered against the plate. "We weren't expecting you." "Have you eaten?" Sarah made her famous lasagna. "I need to talk to Tyler." My voice was calm, but my hands shook. I kept them at my sides, willing them to stop trembling. Tyler looked up from his plate, completely relaxed. He was wearing a new designer shirt too. I could see the price tag still tucked into the collar. "What's up, Aunt Maria?" "You spent $8,500 on my credit card today." The room went silent for exactly 2 seconds. I could hear the kitchen clock ticking. David's youngest daughter stopped mid-chew. Mom's wine glass paused halfway to her lips. Then Dad burst out laughing. It was that big, booming laugh he used when he wanted to dismiss something as ridiculous. "Come on, Maria. He's just being young. Boys make mistakes." Dad clapped Tyler on the shoulder hard enough to make him rock forward. "They'll pay you back eventually, right, Tyler?" Tyler nodded eagerly. "Obviously. Eventually." "Eventually?" I stared at my father. He committed credit card fraud. That's a felony. "Fraud is a strong word," David, my brother, said as he wiped his mouth with a napkin and set it down carefully. "He's family. We handle these things privately. We don't throw around legal terms like we're strangers." Mom nodded vigorously. "Exactly. You're being dramatic. It's not like you robbed the bank or hurt anyone. It's just money. You'll get it back." "Just money?" I repeated. "You know what I mean." Mom waved her hand dismissively. "You're comfortable. You have that big job with the fancy title. What's $8,500 to someone like you?" Tyler smirked. He actually smirked at me. "I was going to tell you, Aunt Maria. Just wanted to surprise you with something nice later. You know, pay you back with interest. Maybe take you to a nice dinner or something. With what money? You don't have a job." The smirk faltered slightly. "I'm between opportunities right now. The job market is tough." "Between opportunities?" I looked at David. "Is that what we're calling it?" David puffed up proudly, defensive. He's exploring his options, taking his time to find the right fit. Not everyone needs to rush into corporate slavery like you did. Some people have different values. "Different values," I repeated slowly, "like theft." "That's not fair," Sarah interjected. She'd been quiet until now. "Tyler made a mistake. We all make mistakes. He's still figuring out life. You're being really harsh about this." I looked around the table. They were all nodding, validating Tyler's theft as youthful exploration. My sister-in-law Sarah even smiled sympathetically at Tyler, as if I was the problem. "So you're all fine with this?" I asked quietly. "We're family," Dad said. "We support each other. Maybe if you had kids of your own, you'd understand how hard it is for young people today." That comment landed like a punch. They all knew I'd struggled with infertility for years. Using it as a weapon now felt deliberate. "Just let it go," Mom added. "Tyler will make it right when he can. You make good money anyway. What's $8,500 to you?" I stood there, looking at my family. Not one of them thought Tyler should face consequences. Not one of them cared that he'd stolen from me. I was the problem for making it awkward. Okay, I said softly. I understand. Tyler grinned. See? I knew you'd be cool about it. You're my favorite aunt. I left without another word. That night, I sat at my laptop and opened my financial management system. The password-protected spreadsheet I'd maintained for 6 years. Every payment, every transaction, every silent gift. For 6 years, I'd been making payments they knew nothing about. It started when Dad's consulting business collapsed and he faced foreclosure. He never asked me directly, but Mom called crying at 2 in the morning. We're losing the house, she sobbed. 40 years of marriage and we're losing our home. The next day, I set up an automatic payment for their mortgage. $3,200 monthly. They thought Dad's freelance work covered it. I never corrected them. When David's wife got sick and medical bills piled up, I quietly paid $87,000 over 2 years. For the cancer treatments, the experimental therapy, the specialists. They thought their insurance had better coverage than it did. I routed the payments through a medical billing service I'd set up specifically for anonymity. David once told me how lucky they were to have such good insurance. I smiled and said nothing. Mom's car payment? Me, every month for 4 years, $520. She thought she'd gotten an incredible financing deal. Dad's property taxes? Me, $8,400 annually. He thought he'd set up the payment years ago, and it just kept processing. David's business loan that saved his company when he was 3 weeks from bankruptcy. I was the silent investor who expected no returns. He thought an angel investor believed in his vision. It was just his sister who loved him. Tyler's college tuition that he dropped out of after 1 semester to find himself. I covered $24,000 before he quit. He never even said thank you, just stopped going to classes and moved back home. The family vacation to Europe they took last year, calling it finally getting ahead financially. I deposited $15,000 into Dad's account with a fake explanation about a class action settlement from some company he'd forgotten he'd done business with. He believed it. They all went to Paris and Rome and sent me postcards. Over 6 years, I'd funneled $340,000 to my family. $340,000. They had no idea. I kept it secret because I didn't want gratitude. I didn't want them to feel indebted. I wanted them to feel stable and secure. I wanted them to sleep well at night, to make plans, to enjoy their lives without the crushing weight of financial stress. But watching them laugh off Tyler's theft, mock my infertility, and treat me like an ATM that should smile while being robbed, something fundamental shifted inside me. I pulled up the authorized payment list. 23 automatic transactions, all linked to my accounts, all keeping my family afloat. I canceled every single one. It took 15 minutes to undo 6 years of silent support. Each click felt like cutting a rope I'd been holding alone for too long. The mortgage payment scheduled for tomorrow, canceled. David's business loan autopay, canceled. Mom's car payment, property taxes, insurance premiums, all of it, gone. I filed a fraud report with my credit card company, listing Tyler by name. Then I called my lawyer and had him draft a demand letter for the $8,500. Finally, I changed my phone number and blocked my entire family on every platform. Then I went to sleep. At 7 the next morning, my new phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Maria? It was David, his voice panicked. What did you do? I don't know what you mean. The mortgage payment bounced. Dad's bank is calling about insufficient funds. They're saying the automatic payment source was terminated. That's unfortunate. Maria, you need to fix this. Dad's freaking out. They're threatening foreclosure proceedings if the payment isn't received by the end of business today. I'm sure Dad's freelance work will cover it, like it has been. Silence. Wait, that was you? All these years? I have to go, David. Maria, wait. I hung up. 10 minutes later, Dad called from Mom's phone. I answered. What have you done? His voice shook with rage. Our mortgage bounced. 6 years we've been making these payments, and suddenly, you haven't been making payments, Dad. I have. $3,200 every month for 72 months. That's $230,400. The line went dead quiet. You've been paying our mortgage, and David's medical bills, and Mom's car, and your property taxes, and the business loan that saved David's company. Should I continue? Why would you? Because you're my family. Because I wanted you to feel secure. Because I loved you. Loved? Past tense? You let Tyler steal $8,500 from me and called it being young. You mocked my infertility. You treated me like an obligation. So yes, past tense. Maria, we didn't know. If we'd known you were helping, you would have what? Treated me with basic respect. Not enabled your grandson to commit fraud against me? That shouldn't require financial leverage, Dad. We can fix this. Just reinstate the payments and we'll talk. No. Maria, please. We'll lose the house. You have until the end of business to figure it out. I suggest Tyler sell his new watch. The $3,200 one he bought with my money should cover about 1 month. I hung up. By noon, my lawyer called. Your family is trying to contact me. Your brother claims there was a verbal agreement about financial support. There wasn't. Every payment was voluntary and can be terminated at will. That's what I told him. He's threatening to sue for promissory estoppel. I laughed. Let him try. I have 6 years of documentation showing gifts, not loans. No contracts, no promises, no obligations. He also mentioned the credit card fraud report. The police contacted Tyler this morning. Your brother wants you to drop the charges. Absolutely not. Understood. I'll communicate that. That evening, Sarah called, crying, Maria, please. David's business loan payment is due. Without it, the bank will call the entire loan. We'll lose everything. You have assets. Sell them. We can't liquidate fast enough. Please, just this one payment. Sarah, where did you think the money was coming from all these years? David said, he said business was good. He said we were finally stable. You were stable because I made you stable. And when Tyler stole from me, you smiled at him sympathetically. I didn't know it was that serious. It was $8,500, Sarah. How is that not serious? She had no answer. Mom called at midnight. Your father had chest pains. The stress is killing him. Is this what you want? What I wanted was to be treated like family instead of an ATM. What I wanted was for Tyler to face consequences instead of being coddled. What I wanted was basic human decency. We made a mistake. Please, Maria. He's your father. And I'm his daughter, the one who kept him housed for 6 years while he pretended to be financially independent. Where was his concern for my stress when Tyler robbed me? Ty was a kid. He's 23. I was supporting this entire family by 25. Stop infantilizing him. The calls continued for 3 days. Each family member took a turn. Anger, then bargaining, then begging. Tyler himself finally called. Aunt Maria, I'm sorry, I really am. I'll pay you back. You're facing criminal charges for credit card fraud. I suggest you get a lawyer instead of calling me. The police said you could drop the charges. It's family. Please. You're right, Tyler. It is family. And family doesn't steal $8,500 and then expect the victim to protect them from consequences. I made a mistake. No. A mistake is grabbing the wrong coffee order. You made multiple deliberate choices over several hours. You committed fraud. Now you face the legal system. He started crying. I hung up. 2 weeks later, my lawyer called with an update. Your father's house entered foreclosure proceedings. Your brother's business loan was called. Tyler took a plea deal for the fraud charges, probation and restitution payments. And my family? Your brother is trying to negotiate a payment plan with the bank. Your parents are looking into downsizing. Tyler got a job at a warehouse to make restitution payments. For the first time in 6 years, they were facing real consequences. No silent savior, no invisible safety net, just reality. Mom sent one final text. I hope you're happy. You destroyed this family. I replied, I supported this family for 6 years while you took me for granted. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped rebuilding what you kept breaking. Then I blocked that number too. 3 months later, I was having coffee when I saw Tyler across the street in a warehouse uniform, loading boxes. He looked exhausted. He saw me, and for a moment our eyes met. Then he looked away and kept working. Dad sold the house and moved to a modest apartment. David's business survived, but he works 7 days a week now. Mom drove a used car with a payment she actually made herself. They learned to budget, to sacrifice, to understand the weight of financial responsibility I carried silently while they spent freely and mocked my generosity. I never reinstated the payments. I never dropped the charges. I never apologized. Because I finally understood something crucial. Sometimes love means holding people accountable. Sometimes family means letting them face the consequences they've earned. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop saving people from themselves. Tyler would pay me $200 monthly for 43 months. Every payment would remind him that actions have consequences, that family isn't a shield from accountability, that the aunt he stole from wasn't the problem, his choices were. And maybe, eventually, they'd understand what I've been trying to teach them all along. Respect isn't bought with money. It's earned through character. And I was done funding their character development. They had $8,500 and 6 years of free support to learn that lesson. Now they could learn it the hard way.